welcome to the Speeding Bulletin. My name is Steve Younis from supermanhomepage.com. This is all the Superman related news there was for the week November 12th to November 18th, 2010. Deadline.com claims that the search for a new Superman is on, with Warner Brothers actively searching for an actor aged 28 to 32 to become the next Man of Steel for their upcoming movie. Producer Chris Nolan and director Zack Snyder have begun to cast a wide net, and that the actor will either be a Discovery or an on-TV actor, but likely someone who isn't well known yet. Brett Ratner told MTV News that he's happy for Zack Snyder to have been chosen to direct the next Superman movie, but admits he's a little jealous. He said, "I think Zack was a good choice, an interesting choice. I'm going to be the first one in line to see that movie. I can't wait." In TV news, Jim Bennett has updated our Smallville episode guide with his summary of the most recent Season 10 episode, Abandoned, while Douglas Trumbull and Julian Finn have written their reviews for the same episode, with the boys differing in their opinions this week. Julian gave it a 2.5 out of 5, while Doug loved it, rating it a 5 out of 5. Patriot, the 9th episode of Season 10 of Smallville, airs tonight, Friday, November 19th at 8 PM. In this episode, the government shows its hand when Oliver is subjected to testing at Colonel Slade's hand after he volunteers to register for the Vigilante Registration Act. Clark refuses Lois's offer to help rescue Oliver, choosing instead to work with Aquaman and his wife Mira. But a frustrated Lois is determined to prove her worth regardless. Look for our episode summary and reviews in the days following this episode. Get ready to see Clark get down on one knee in front of Lois in the next 3 episodes. Executive producer Kelly Souders promises it goes kind of where people are expecting it to go. Fancast.com learned that Annette O'Toole will be coming back to Smallville this season to reprise her role as Martha Kent. You'll see Martha again in Beacon, the 13th episode of Season 10, scheduled to air in early 2011. A week before that, we'll get to see Chloe Sullivan again. The first of Allison Mack's 4 remaining episodes is titled Collateral and will also air in early 2011. ComicBookMovie.com posted a rumour claiming that wrestler Matt Morgan has been chosen to embody the physical role of Darkseid on Smallville. Supposedly there will be a costume to be worn, a bit like the Doomsday costume, but not a full bodysuit. TV Guide's Megabuzz column reveals a new villain is coming to Smallville. The producers are looking for a chiseled young man to play a recurring character who begins to realise his special abilities after a freak accident. Though he idolises Clark, a darkness within will eventually put him at odds with the future Man of Steel. A number of media outlets had the chance to catch up with Smallville executive producers Brian Peterson and Kelly Souders this week and asked them all about the 10th and final season and what's ahead for Clark and his friends. Peterson told Staying In with Vlada.com, "The finale we're all excited about. We just feel like we have to really earn it and get there, so our focus right now is everything up until the finale." Superman homepage reviewer James Lance continues reviewing episodes from the 1950s Adventures of Superman TV series. Come by the site now to read his review of the Season 3 episode Flight to the North, in which Louis Lyman needs a pie being delivered by yokel Sylvester J. Superman and his mule to a serviceman in Alaska to win a bet. DC Comics released their February 2011 solicitations this week, and we highlighted for you all the Superman related comics and products listed. Of special note was Wonder Woman's appearance in Superman number 708, and the first issue of the Young Justice comic tying in with the new animated series. Newsarama.com caught up with writer J. Michael Straczynski and asked him about the decision to step away from the monthly Superman comic book to concentrate on a sequel to the highly successful Superman Earth 1 original graphic novel. He said, "I looked at the calendar and what would have to get done and said that there was no way I could do the monthlies and give the OGN the kind of careful consideration and detailed writing that was essential." DC Comics has announced that Doomsday will be back in 2011. Bob Harris, editor-in-chief at DC, said, "Doomsday is one of the most popular villains in Superman's canon of foes. He injects a feeling of dread and chaos into the DC universe that few other characters can." There weren't any new comic books to review this week, but Charlie Niemeyer looked back to February 1972 to review Jimmy Olsen 146, which featured the Jack Kirby story Homo Disastrous. Superman comics and other products shipping this week from November 17th include DC Universe Legacies number 7, Justice League of America number 51, which is available in a variant cover, Supergirl number 58, also available in a variant cover, Superman 705, available in a variant cover, Superman Batman number 78, Tiny Titans number 34, Superman Last Stand of New Krypton Volume 1 hardcover, DCU Origins Series 2 Superman action figure 2-pack. In other news, Sony Online Entertainment has released another game feature video for DC Universe Online, the MMORPG, to be released early next year. This time we take a leap and find out more on acrobatic movement with Jens Anderson, creative director. And speaking of DC Universe Online, a new bi-weekly comic book series tying in with the game will hit shelves in February 2011. A federal judge has lifted the delay in the ongoing copyright legal battle between Warner Bros. DC Comics and the Siegel-Schuster families. The modified order allows the studio to restart its information gathering and proceed with full discovery of heirs Joanne Siegel, Laura Siegel-Larson, Gene Peavy and Mark Peavy. The depositions, which are interviews held outside of court, were initially scheduled for November 15th, but will now be rescheduled to start immediately. A different federal judge has issued an injunction against the city of Los Angeles, halting the arrest of actors who dress up as superheroes and other characters on the famous Hollywood Walk of Fame. A trial date has not been set yet, but the injunction means Superman and his pals are free to return to the Hollywood Boulevard to take photos with tourists. That's all the Superman news there was for the week November 12th to November 18th. I'm Steve Younis from SupermanHomepage.com.
Hi, welcome to Bailey Planet. I spoke last week about my kind of disgust and fear and anger and worry and just general malaise about Superman in the comics in the wake of this J. Mike thing. To clarify, it's not necessarily just about what J. Mike's done, which is pretty frustrating, but also the general way that the comics have just kind of been up and down and inconsistent in the last 10 years, and it's kind of hit me in a wave. I received a number of letters, and they were all very welcome, and thank you, and they were all basically along the lines of, I feel the same way, as opposed to keep on trucking. There were a couple people who said, suck it up and continue. It's been a bad stretch, but it'll get better. And I've realized that that's been kind of the pattern for the last 5 to 10 years. Like, every time something starts to get bad, we're just like, oh, another good thing will come around eventually. And it does, and then it goes away. But there's no consistency. It feels like the stewardship of the character is really random, one would say. But at any rate, right now, I'm leaning towards taking a sabbatical. The main reason for that is that I just can't find passion for this anymore, and the thing is, if I don't have passion, then I will write things and say things that are lackluster, which is unfair to you. In the same way that I'm sure you've read comics that have been lackluster and passionless that have been written by someone who just wants to write Superman. Go figure. I won't do that to you. At the same time, the Superman homepage for the last 10 years has been my home, my life. A lot of you guys are my closest friends. So I don't know what the details are. I'm thinking on it, and I'm thinking on it hard. But for right now, I'm just trying to figure out the details of this, because it's something that's hit me like a freight train, honestly. I'm not really fond of this idea. It's not something I want to do. There have been things in my life that I've broken from rather easily, and this is not one of them, nor would it be, which is why I'm considering this a sabbatical right now, because I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, if I can't contribute to the comics, and if I've given up on reviewing Smallville, and if I'm not passionate, maybe I'm not the person for this job anymore. I don't know. What do you guys think? I know that it hurts to talk about it, and I know that it's something that's very tough, and I know all I can do is be honest about it. But in the wake of what's been going on, in terms of Straczynski and in terms of the way that the character has just kind of become second fiddle to Batman, it breaks my heart, and I don't really know how to address that anymore. I don't know. I'm welcome to more letters.